How sweet it is to be loved by you. So I'm going to ask everyone, if you will, please sit erect. I want to try your feet flat on the floor. Sometimes to get into this state, it's easier if you close your eyes and begin to breathe deeply, allowing yourselves to become at ease. Letting yourself become more and more at ease. Peaceful. Relaxed. All right, that's enough. There's an unspoken assumption that the mind can only become quiet when the world around it is quiet. Now, don't you imagine the ideal meditation setting is to be somewhere far from the madding crowd? A retreat deep in the forest, a peaceful chapel, or perhaps the quiet of your bedroom, and if not yours, maybe someone else's. So it seems like it's much harder for the mind to settle down in a noisy environment. Or is it? Want to try that again? Okay. Let's go back into meditation, okay? Explore whether the sound really was that disturbing. Or perhaps what you're going to discover is the disturbance was not from the sound itself, but from your wishing it weren't there. Oh, God, one of those again. I know. We get so fixed on what we believe is and should be that we keep ourselves from being present. But it is when we accept things as they are. Haven't we heard it said, going with the flow? Yeah. When we go with the flow, that there's ease. Our natural state of mind is content and relaxed. That's our natural state of mind. Now, this dis-ease arises when we resist our experience, whatever your experience may be. Then our natural state of ease becomes veiled by a self-created discontent. That's worth repeating. Our natural state of ease becomes veiled by our self-created discontent. So, let's look at this. What are we talking about here? We're talking about resisting. When something like what you heard comes up, your tendency is probably to focus on the disturbance and say, that is causing me a problem. When the fact of the matter is, that simply reveals an attachment we have to how our experience ought to be instead of accepting it as it is. Generally what we do is we go about it and we say, all right, our experience, now that this has come in and screwed everything up, is divided into two parts. I have my experience, and then there are the thoughts and the feelings about the experience. If you can never bring these two together, then you're going to find that you're including your resistance in the experience that is actually of the present moment. Not resisting the resistance. Not resisting the resistance. When you do this, the veil of discontent dissolves. And we then are able to return to a more relaxed, easeful state of mind. Now I know that some of you are finding this difficult to handle because you still want to believe it's my fault that all that noise was made. And that threw you off in your meditation when you were this close to samadhi. It's all right. The current world still revolves around that, you understand, blaming it on others. But what I'm talking about is the shift that's occurring that is touching every one of us, and in accordance to our response to it, do we then find we're able to embrace our own resistance instead of resisting it. How many of you grew up with the continued confirmation that there's something wrong with you? It's a given. There is. You're screwed up. Until you get to the place of realizing, I am resisting who I am embracing myself to be in this moment. Now, perhaps what you feel you've got to do is you've got to create some kind of situation where you have an empty mind. Well, how is it? There may not be anything between left ear and right ear, but that's not the same thing as an empty mind. That's just an empty head. Okay? What you really are referencing and moving toward is a quiet mind. You see, when you have a quiet mind, you're aware of the world just as you were before, but instead of resisting the resistance, you're aware of the sounds, the sensations, the thoughts, the feelings, and you allow your experience to be as it is. No wishing for something different, and thereby creating unnecessary discontent. Perhaps this is too simple for you. Perhaps this is too difficult for you. Perhaps you prefer to simply resist this and stick with what you're doing and what you're experiencing right now, finding that something or someone else is disturbing your peace of mind, your well-being. And if that's the case, have at it. Look around and you'll find many to support your current view. But that doesn't make you one bit more peaceful. Although it may give you a moment's relief, because you're so concerned with the fact that you're crazy and someone else might find out. Because if you experience others who have the same point of view, then you either have to go in one or the other direction. One is, I'm not crazy, they're not crazy, we're not crazy, all is well. Or the really scary thing, we're all crazy. So, when you find something to disturb your inner quiet, whether it be someone else's behavior, or a politician on TV, or, gosh, I don't know, what could it be? Pause and notice what is happening inside. See if there's any sense of resistance to your experience. And if so, open up to the experience of resistance. You're looking. Be curious as to what is going on and how it feels. Include this part of the present moment in your awareness. Include this in your present moment. And you will discover that you can be at ease in situations where you before would have suffered. So is this a guarantee for the ending of suffering? As this world turns, in all probability, not for everyone. That isn't what this is about. This is about extending an opportunity to yourself from yourself, to where you become more present in your life, and instead of finding fault with others, you realize that there really is no fault to be found. But then, oh my God, that just requires such waking up. That requires so much of letting go of your past program, behavior, and reaction. That means that you actually get to a place of embracing yourself just the way you are in any given moment, and find that it then has such a wonderful way of leaking over into your perceptions and your connections with the rest of life. But then again, somewhere along the way, we've been brainwashed into believing that we just can't do this. Why, it's only the enlightened ones who can. The exalted ones. Those who are so high and far above us that we can't even hardly see them, for God's sakes. But eventually, that gets enough cracks in it to allow light to shine through, and your awareness begins to embrace the eternal realization. All really is well. And if you live your life from that premise, you'll find that that's what's going to greet you. That's what's going to meet you, no matter how it's dressed. I could drop this one more time, but I'm afraid I might break it. Plus, I think you've got the pitch. And if you don't, then either you will, or you will. Somewhere. Thank you. For more information about the Metaphysical Church of Enlightenment or the Rodin Foundation, please go to our website at www.rodin.org. If you have been inspired by the revelations shared in these podcasts, please donate to the Rodin Foundation's ongoing efforts to help others help themselves at www.rodin.org/donate.